Hey guys, welcome to the ShareWillow Podcast. My name is Ryan Shank. I'm the founder of ShareWillow. This is the first episode of our podcast. This podcast today is absolutely incredible. I go through our journey of starting ShareWillow from the very beginning and raising capital and talking to huge business owners of $100 to $200 million companies. I talk to you about creating events and curating amazing people and getting them in the rooms to learn from each other. I talk about, creating content. I talk about creating really big home service and construction companies. We're throwing a dinner tomorrow night in New York City. I actually do a call with Chef Glenda, and she goes through why we're creating the dinner and the energy and the farm to table and the curation of everything. I'm putting together an amazing group of people, from investors to employees and all of that. Don't jump around. Listen to the whole episode. This episode is incredibly special. It's where you'll get to know me, you'll get to know ShareWillow, and you'll get to know a little bit about how my brain works and why we're doing all of this. So tune in today. This episode is absolutely fantastic. Let's go. In service companies, stock options don't really make sense. There's some companies, some of our little competitors are trying to go after phantom equity, but we've talked to a lot of technicians and employees at these companies. They don't care. They want cash. They don't want this phantom equity instrument that may or may not ever actually have value. And that doesn't influence or drive behavior on the day-to-day, right? They want cash. So it's how do you incentivize them with cash in a way that, aligns with the business? And what typically that is whether it's an incentive plan, like a bonus plan, whether it's profit sharing, whether it's some other type of cash-based bonus, right? SPIF, spot bonuses, those types of things. So I realized he was doing it. I also realized a few other big companies that I admire. I really admire Tommy Mello, and he talks about performance pay, which is basically giving your technicians a piece of variable pay with every single job. And it's not piece rate, so they still have an hourly rate, but Tommy Mello talks about it. Chuck Kuhn from JK Moving. Tommy Mello has an 850 employee garage door company called A1 Garage Doors. $220 million top line, $60 million EBITDA, over $1 billion valuation. So these are the big boys, okay? And if the big boys are doing this, this is what seems to work. And I remember Tommy was talking, and it's hey, my business, I think he launched performance pay in 2019, 2020, and it basically doubled and got his business to just on this massive growth trajectory. So it's basically how do we enable the smaller companies to put these types of compensation plans in place? And that's the whole goal of ShareWillow. I'm not going to go into a crazy pitch right now. But anyway, I'm going to basically be I'm going to try to get business owners of $100 million plus home service companies on the pod. And I'm going to pick their brain, and I'm going to get all the secrets that they have, and I'm going to give it to you guys, and I'm going to learn myself. And, I'm on this journey right now where I just want to learn. I'm trying to learn as much as possible. And the thing is, if I can bring really smart people together, then we can learn from each other. I'm doing a lot that I think maybe other people can learn from. I think there's a ton of learnings that I still have to go that I can learn from. I want to learn from the younger people. What are they doing with social content? What are they doing? A lot of these AI kids are building incredible companies really, really quickly. I'm very interested in that. I'm also interested in just I just read this book, Unreasonable Hospitality by Will Guidara. He was the GM of 11 Madison Park, which is the #1 restaurant in the world. And he talks about just creating these magical moments for customers. And I think that can apply to home service companies, right? Tommy Mello, again, not to talk about him too much, but he talks about how he's in the media business and he's in the service business. He just happens to fix garage doors. At the end of the day, you're providing a service to customers. How can you go above and beyond and make them feel good and safe? I was talking with this restoration company that basically goes in when there's a flood and they restore the floor and they get the water out. Anytime that happens, the person that calls the business is in distress. You don't like having to make that call and hire a restoration company. So, what I was telling him is, almost like a doctor, you want to like almost assure them that it's going to be okay and that you've seen this so many times before and that you're going to be able to get their home back for them, right? You're going to be able to take what is a crazy, scary, disastrous time and you're going to reassure them that it's okay. Imagine you go to the doctor and you have a lump or something. You're like scared. Is this cancer? Am I going to die? But then the doctor talks to you gently and he tells you he's seen this 1,000 times and that he's going to fix it for you and that it's no big deal. You feel safe. You feel secure. And that's, part of the business for a lot of home service companies. If your toilet breaks, your air, right now in New York City, it's like 95 degrees. Like if your air conditioner breaks, it's kind of scary. You're like, am I going to be able to fix it or am I going to be like so hot? So a lot of this is the service element of it. And that's where unreasonable hospitality and going above and beyond and creating these special magical moments for customers, I think makes a huge difference. So we're going to talk about all of that. I'm going to learn about those things. I'm going to learn about how these guys hire. Should you buy trucks? Should you lease trucks? Should you lease to own? Does the depreciation matter on the trucks for, the expense of it? There's like tons of little things like that. What are you using in terms of like template wise? Do you have Canva templates for flyers, for social media? Or, how much are you paying per lead? We're going to go over all that and we're going to uncover all of those things with all of these guests and it's going to be absolutely phenomenal. But first, I want to tell you a little bit about ShareWillow. So we started in 2023. My prior company was called PhoneWagon, and we were a call tracking software company. So we worked with home service companies, and we also worked with the agencies that then managed ad spend for those companies, right? And basically, we would help them attribute phone calls back to ad spend. So if you spent $100 on Google and you got 2 leads, or 2 phone calls, your effective cost per lead or cost per call is $50. And we would attribute it back to even the keywords on Google search. I did that for 4 years. I went through Techstars, raised a little bit of capital. We had thousands of paying customers and ended up getting acquired by CallRail in 2021, which is one of the bigger SMB call tracking software companies. They're probably over 100 million in annual revenue right now. They're a legit company. All of our employees went to CallRail. A lot of them are still there today, and the CallRail guys are amazing. So that's my background. And then I basically took like a year and a half to figure out what was next. And I started looking at the market. And again, I wanted to stay in SMB. I love working with home service contractors, construction companies. I love small business. I don't know consumer. I don't know enterprise. I don't know e-commerce. Like, I don't really know, fintech. Like, I don't know that stuff. I know SMB, and I love working with small business owners. So I realized, cash-based businesses were a thing. There's a lot of noise right now with buying and selling, SMBs and the trades and, the new gold rush is the trades and everyone's doing a search fund to try to find and buy an HVAC company in Arkansas. It's like a whole thing, right? There's like majors at Harvard that's called ETA, Entrepreneurship Through Acquisition. And like there's a lot of just activity happening. So I saw that and it's like, okay, do I buy one of these businesses? But it's like, I've never been an operator. So like that still felt out of my lane, right? And then so it was like, all right, well, if you do buy one of them, what if everyone walks? It's such a service business. Like if everyone leaves, how do you retain the people post-acquisition? So it felt like, there's not stock options here. And then just thinking through, like, how do you even motivate and retain these people anyway? I started to see there's a shortage of labor in the trades as well. Surely, in tech companies, there's a platform like Carta to help you manage stock options and the cap table, but there's nothing in cash-based businesses. And by the way, cash-based businesses, there's millions of them, whereas in tech companies and startups, there's only like 50,000. Like there's not that many versus like millions of these cash-based businesses that actually power the economy. The electricians, the plumbers, the HVAC, the pest controls, the pool cleaners, the garage door companies, the asphalt guys, the concrete guys, that's where the majority of the actual businesses are. I think too many people are in this like tech bubble and they think like, oh, I'm going to sit behind a computer and code something. It's like, that's not where like most of the action in the economy happens. So why is there no platform that tells you how to incentivize and like, what percentage of maybe profit? Should there be a threshold? What's the cadence? Should I do it monthly, quarterly? Should I do it per job? Should tenure be a factor? What's the calculation for how I should do it? Like there's all these different variables, but there's no benchmarks, there's no platform, and then there's certainly no system of record to be able to manage this and see it and view my progress towards goal. But all these companies are using a Service Titan. They're using software. All the data is there. So they're using a Service Titan, a House Call Pro, a Jobber, a Procore, a Builder Trend. Why can't we build incentive plans around that data and allow the employees to see and track that? And then when they get a variable piece of comp, like a bonus tied to the data in there, everyone wins. Like it just felt like it made so much sense. So I started building it, kind of like hacking it together, working with some like outsourced devs that I found on like Upwork or somewhere like that. And kind of got like a clickable Figma together. This was before sort of you can just like vibe code and like do something like that, but got a clickable Figma together. Then went out to do a little fundraise and everyone started saying yes. Like all the investors, I've never experienced that before. I've only really experienced no's and like scraped together rounds of funding. So it just felt, and it's not like, oh, I was able to fundraise. It just meant that everyone else saw that this should exist as well, right? It wasn't like me being this like, stud at, raising capital like Adam Newman or someone from WeWork who feels like he can like sneeze and he just raises $1 billion. But, so I was like, wow, so I started fundraising. I was getting a lot of yeses. Then I started talking to customers and it was actually kind of at the same time. And they're all saying like, yes, this definitely needs to exist. This should exist. We're doing some hack together way. And then seeing people like Chuck Kuhn who are doing it and they have the biggest home service companies. I was like I just had so much conviction that there's product market fit here. If you can build the product. And it seems like a lot of other people also had that level of conviction. So ended up raising $6.5 million at the end of 2023 for ShareWillow. And it was off to the races. It took me a little while. Look, when you're building companies, there's a lot that can go wrong. At the end of the day, the biggest variable is people. So I made a few wrong hires, not that they were bad people, it's just they were wrong for the stage of the company. Like I needed people that could go 0 to 1, that could basically take an idea and make it into something. I think I hired too senior of people, to be honest. And that's something that happens when you almost have too much capital. You're like, all right, I can pay $200K. Let me get a senior person. But that $200K person is not a 0 to 1 scrappy. Like they're comfortable. Like they probably have they're comfortable. You know what I mean? Versus like you need a 0 to 1 person that's can just build and is scrappy. So I made some bad hires. And to be honest, I probably took 6 months of learning instead of wasted 6 months. I like to frame it as I learned for 6 months the people that I did need. And once I got those people in those seats, so that was like end of 23, then spent the next 6 months. So that was going into like June, July of 24, almost 1 year ago to the day. That's when everything changed. We hired Danielle. She was absolutely critical to the business. And you guys, if you're listening to this and you're plugged in at all to ShareWillow, you know who she is. She's our head of product and ops, and she's my secret weapon, not so secret. Don't try to hire her. If you're listening to this and you have any type of company ever, please do not try to hire her. She's super not available. And but she is absolutely our secret weapon. And that's when everything changed last summer. And she was able to come in, and she came in initially as like a senior product, not designer, senior product manager. It's PM, right? Senior product manager. She was able to come in and write requirements, manage engineers, and she's since grown into head of product and ops, right? She's running basically like all of product, means all the engineers, the product designer reports to her. She's the PM on it. She's writing requirements and scope and like all of that stuff. And then she's also doing ops, which essentially is post-sale. So she's doing onboarding. And she was personally doing onboarding herself for so long that she learned so much talking to customers over like the next year that she's able to then feed that back into product. Anyway, so that's when the business changed last summer, 1 year ago. And that's when we started like actually building. and the business has started to like really take off. And just fast forward to today, we're a team of about 12. We have over 200 paying customers. We're adding 30 to 40 paying customers per month. Our revenue's over 100K a month, probably like 110 now, adding 10K, 20K a month every single month. So we're growing nicely. We're about to be kind of at Series A. And then we're going to just step on the gas. Like there's a lot that we need to do product-wise. We need to have a mobile app, employee-wise. I want to have payments where we can like issue. There's a lot we need to do, but things seem to be working. And, so what I've done now is I'm shifting more into content and front-facing. For a while, it was like I was really deep in product, then I was really deep in sales. And now that I feel like I have good people, going back to what I said earlier, now I'm like, all right, let me go and just be loud and get people to know about ShareWillow, get people to know about me, get people to buy into us and our story and want to be a part of the journey and want to be there for us to win. So that's where we're at right now. A couple things that we're doing. This is super relevant to right now too. So now we're starting to have like real customers. So we were going to a lot of conferences for a while, and most of them were flops, to be honest. But a few were great. And one of them in particular, it's called Service World Expo. We met this guy, Jim Hawk, H-A-A-K, Jim Hawk, of Black Hawk Heating in Appleton, Wisconsin. Jack on our team just yesterday went to their office in Wisconsin and did a site visit. They rolled out ShareWillow within the last few months, and going to site visits and seeing all the trucks and going into their office. And they're a big company too, like multiple eight figures in revenue. Like they're big. And it's just so cool. Like he posted a lot of videos and stuff, and just seeing like the videos of like their office and then seeing them use ShareWillow in their office in Wisconsin with their managers and employees. Like that's just so cool. Like I just thought of this in my head, and then like actual people are using it like for legit businesses, is like super, super, super rewarding. So also in Orlando, we hosted our first dinner, like customer dinner, and it was incredible. Like we were at Maggiano's, this like chain, I guess like Italian place in like Orlando, which is just like, it's Orlando. We all love Orlando, right? The Orlando airport's crazy, by the way, with the green carpet, but anyway, so that dinner was amazing, and we put great content around it, but just bringing together customers, the thing that I want to do is, if we brought together this big electrical company, an HVAC company, a construction company, and then a company that makes signs. So there was like 4 customers, and then they had plus ones, plus some of our team was there. So it's probably like a 10, 12 person dinner. And it was just awesome. Like they were all talking to each other, and like they can all do business with each other too, right? Like the electrical person can be the electrical person for the construction company because they sub out the electrical work, and then they like all need signs. So it's like if we can bring them and then they can learn from each other, right? So it's like just bringing together people like that, I think is like super value add from ShareWillow. The reason I say that is we're hosting a dinner tomorrow in New York City. I rented this Soho penthouse that like overlooks like the South Manhattan skyline with like the World Trade Center in the back. We went to Costa Rica in April, and we had this Chef Glenda. Chef Glenda flew to New York. So she's currently at the Union Square Farmers Market shopping. She's going to do this like farm to table Soho penthouse rooftop dinner for all of our employees. I have some Series A investors that are going to come and like meet the team and customers. I have other people from the space. We have some customers going. So it's going to be this like 15, 20 person dinner, like ridiculous. And the whole idea is like, again, sort of like this pod. It's like, how can we bring people together to learn from each other, to get inspired from each other, to maybe do business with each other, but not in a super like networky, like transactional way. Like we're all getting curated, by me and our team. And it's like, it feels good and natural, and it feels really, really, really good. I think for the pod right now, I think we should call Chef Glenda, and we should just like ask her to tell us about the dinner tomorrow. I think that'll be really, really good. Calling Chef Glenda right now. Come on, answer her. I'm going to keep calling her until she answers. And we also have, by the way, we have Josiah. He's on our team. He's there filming her because we're going to make a crazy video, almost like a vlog style video of the whole dinner, but her like shopping today and then the dinner tomorrow. So I think, bro, answer. Oh my God. She might not have service. Uno momento. Okay, hold on. So she's with this guy on my team, Josiah. So I'm going to call him right now. And then I'm going to see if he can put her on the phone because I want her to tell you guys how the dinner's going to be. Can you hear this?
What's up?
Yo, are you with Chef Glenda?
Yes.
Can you put her on the phone?
Yes. Hold on one second.
Can you hear it?
Hey, Ryan. Ryan wants to talk. Ryan's on the phone.
Yes, I am.
Hola, Chef Glenda. You're live on a podcast that I'm doing, and I just want you to tell us about the dinner that we're creating and like the vision and everything.
Yes. Tell me. Do you want me to tell you the high vibrational menu?
High vibration, not the menu, just the vibes, how we're feeling, why we're doing it, farm to table, kind of what you put in the text. Just tell us about yourself, the chef, Costa Rica, all of that.
Yes. Thank you, Ryan. Well, I live in the tropics by the sea, and everything that I do is like related with nature and like everything with the sun and with the ocean and waking up with good vibration every day, like grateful about living and like creating and gathering people around the table and made them to feel nourished and happy about life and try to transmit all of that by a meal, basically. It's pretty simple. It's a way of living, and I do believe that the food is very connected with everything that what we are and how we move in life. And I feel like what you are doing for ShareWillow employees and the company and your friends and who matters for you is beautiful. So I am a reflection of you for the booking of tomorrow, and yes, we are creating magic.
Amazing. Thank you so much. I also randomly have a coffee from a place called Pura Vida, which is maybe a crazy coincidence, but I'm so looking forward to it.
Yes.
You are incredible energy. I just wanted everyone to hear from you about, the vision and how we're going to do it. But it's going to be beautiful. It's going to be magical. And I think hopefully it'll be inspiring where people can see that if you just believe and you have good energy and you have a vision and you stay heads down, that anything is possible.
Yes, anything is possible when you are dreaming, when you are having crazy dreams, and then you wake up and say okay, how I get these crazy dreams become reality. So then you wake up and do a little things, and all of that is a suddenly a plus, and then when you just realize that the things are actually happening, that you have to dream and start dreaming from nowhere, the craziest one, and just made into a map to get to a reality.
Yes, I love that so much. Thank you, Chef Glenda. I'll see you tomorrow. I'm so excited.
Pura vida. See you tomorrow. I cannot wait.
Pura vida. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Chef Glenda is the best. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. So we stayed in this villa in Santa Teresa, Costa Rica. And the villa had all these chefs that they recommended in this PDF. And I was I was on page 19, and then it was Chef Glenda, and I just randomly picked her, didn't know, and it was the most, she was the best energy, the cleanest food, farm to table. She brought her dog tuna over to the house, and it was just such good. And then my birthday was there, and then we had this curated dinner for my birthday on the villa over the pool, overlooking the ocean. like honestly unreal. And she messaged me and we were talking about getting her to come to New York for a dinner. And I just thought like it would just be magical. And then we found the most perfect venue, like everything's just falling into place. And I think, I don't know, without getting super woo-woo, that's just kind of like what's happening. So that dinner is tomorrow. We're going to put out a lot of content around that dinner and I'm super excited. But anyway, back to the pod, I just think, like I want to just do fun, interesting stuff like that, where we're curating customers. We're providing a lot of value. The thing that I'm not talking about that I think I need to talk about more is like product stuff. Like with ShareWillow, I want to incorporate that stuff more into the content so that like customers can see, like how we're doing with products and how we're going to help their business. But I do think like getting successful customers that are using ShareWillow around the table with each other, they'll start to learn from each other. They'll start to trust us that like, hey, we like got it. And when I bring our product people and engineers and designers to the table, they'll realize like, oh, ShareWillow is locked in and we are obsessed with customers. And I think like hopefully through the content, through the podcast, everyone will understand that. Like the only thing I care about is creating a ton of value for our customers. And, that's through content, that's through product, that's through curation, that's through events. And I think by doing all of those things and like knowledge transferring in all of those different aspects, ShareWillow will come out of the gate and be looked at as this respected, aspirational, hungry, visionary company that is just pedal to the metal. Like you got to keep your foot on the gas. We're putting our foot on the gas in every single aspect right now. Product, engineering, marketing, sales. Like we're stepping on the gas on sales too. Like if you get on a demo with us and you're a good fit, and we think it's a good fit, we're going to ask you why you don't want to move forward right now. Because we know that there's so much value that's getting created, but we're pedal to the metal, foot on the gas in every single aspect of the company right now. And I think also I think if people see us doing that, then that will inspire them. Like I see other people grinding really hard. That inspires me. I'm like, I got to go harder. Even sometimes I'll take like most of my Saturday off. I'll work every Sunday I work, Saturday mornings work, but I'll take most of Saturday day off. And I feel like I am like the most unproductive human ever because I have friends that are founders that are just like 7 days always grinding, and not in like a burnout way. Because again, grinding doesn't mean like grinding. It could be like relationships and stuff. But still, you get inspired when you're around other people that are working really, really hard, or like they're doing events on the weekend. Like we need to just be all in. So anyway, I just think like seeing and being around other people and then hopefully seeing us also, keeping our foot on the gas like we are, I think hopefully that inspires others, whether that's our customers, whether that's our, employees, whether, just anyone to just like really go at it. Because I think like right now we're going after such a big opportunity that is potentially life-changing, generational changing for me, my family, some of my early employees' families. Like there's a ridiculous amount of value that is like on the table to be created, and it's ours to lose right now. Like we're in a really good position. We're going after a huge market. We're the first out of the gate. We have, I think, what it takes to make it happen. And again, just like what Chef Glenn has said, like we're dreaming big. We're trying to go really, really, really big right now. We're going to build a multi-billion-dollar company. It takes 20,000 customers to get there, right? We'll be at 500 to 800 at the end of the year, could triple that. The next year, that'll be like a couple thousand. And then it's like, you only have to, 3X from there and 4X from there, and you're there. It's like not that like unattainable. So anyway, we're all locked in. But with this podcast, I hope you guys just like get to know me more. I'm going to, obviously like when I'm playing host, I'm not going to go this deep on myself. I'm going to be like truly interviewing. So I wanted this to be an episode where I can introduce it to you. I can introduce myself. I can introduce ShareWillow. You can hear Chef Glenna. You can just hear how I'm thinking about all of these things. I'm also putting out a lot of content these days. So like, And by the way, I don't think any of us really know what they're doing. So I just know we should be putting out a lot of content. I'm sure some of it's not the right content, but it's something. It's better than nothing, I think, unless it like completely makes me look bad, which I don't think it does, because I'm pretty much just documenting and doing like random stuff right now. And I think like I'll learn the video creation over time. I'll learn what hits, the hooks, the storylines, the leaving people satisfied at the end, the edits, the text on screen. Like I'm going to learn all that, right? And you only learn it through doing it and just getting the repetitions in. And I think like doing something is better than doing nothing. All right, guys, I'm going to answer a quick question from our audience right now. So someone, who's this? Rob Rigaldo asked, why would I use performance pay with my commercial cleaning business? Okay, performance pay aligns technicians with the company, and it's not just commission. So it's not just on new sales. You don't have to worry about your technicians in the house trying to just sell them stuff. Performance pay is designed around two things. It's designed around efficiency and customer satisfaction. Did they do the job in a certain amount of time? Did they do it correctly? And then is the customer satisfied? So it's not just do the job quickly, but it's like if it's a repair, an installation, or if it's this type of cleaning, you know that there's a certain amount of labor hours that it should take. So did they do it within that amount of time? And then let's also layer in a customer satisfaction piece, whether that's a review, whether that's a scorecard, something else. So those two things are the actual performance. So it's not commission. It's performance that aligns with the company's goals. Because you as a company, if they take 8 hours and it should take 3, that's bad for you. If they get a 2-star review versus a 5, that's bad for you. So you want to incentivize them to do it efficiently and for the customer to be satisfied. And if they do those things, you win as a business and they win as an employee, okay? That's why, and I'll send that to Ricky at John Rigardo's Commercial Cleaning. So that said, this is the podcast, the ShareWillow Podcast. I really want you to follow along our journey. My call to action for you: follow us, subscribe to us, and leave a comment. Obviously, like anyone who creates, you look at every single comment. So if you just comment, firstly, that means you made it to the end right now. It also helps us get to know you. It shows me that you care, all of that. If you could follow the pod, subscribe, and leave a comment, that would mean the absolute world to me. But thank you guys so much. I'm Ryan Shank, the founder of ShareWillow. This is the ShareWillow Podcast. Tune in because we're going hard. Let's go.